Presented by AfterBuzz TV and hosted by Hall of Fame superstar Sean X-Pac Waltman, this is X-Pac 12360. Featuring exclusive interviews, insider discussion, and breaking news from the world of wrestling. And now, your host, WWE Hall of Fame superstar Sean X-Pac Waltman.
Welcome to X-Pac 12360.
Woo! We're here.
How do you like that new intro? Thank you, Maria, for taking a few moments to do a new voiceover for me.
I like it.
Yeah. I want to chop it up a little bit. Like, it's a little, I don't know. I guess I just don't like.
The card is subject to change on this intro.
Yeah, no, what I get like all weird when people
Say your name a
talk
bunch.
too many things, say too many things about me. Yeah. I don't know, whatever.
I like it though. It's very
Yeah, no, it's
soothing
great.
and relaxing. Like
Yeah.
I'm ready to get into this podcast.
Yeah, it was. I like it. It's a nice change. Yeah, I was getting so fucking tired of that other intro.
The creepy one that you said was
Yes,
creepy.
Mark Donica's fucking Uncle Chester the Molester voice.
Poor Mark.
I just got a text from Mark. Because he's down in Orlando, PC. Well, I don't know if he works at the PC every day, but I was watching the Columbine from the Performance Center. Did anyone see any of that?
The Combine, yes.
The Combine, Columbine.
We'll get there.
Fucking bowling for Combine. Yeah. What I meant is, I was watching the
Combine,
the Performance Center Combine. And I saw Mark, scurrying around, in the background there. I was like, oh, there's Donica. Anyways, yeah. So he hit me up and just. So yes, Mark, I will be down there next week. So I will see you there. I
He got
can't
a
return
video
your text,
reply.
but I can tell you on the show.
That's next level texting right there.
Yeah.
You respond in a video.
Yeah. So, anyways, what'd y'all do this weekend?
Had a good time. I went
Yeah.
to Texas, was down there for some work. It was really hot.
Yeah,
I don't want to go
wrestling
back
work?
to Texas anymore. No, it was something separate.
Okay, never
But
mind.
I'm done with Texas. It's too hot.
Yeah.
I celebrated a birthday Saturday, also 2 years of sobriety.
Oh, really?
I do that at the same, yeah.
Did you get sober on your birthday?
Yep.
Did you really?
I just wanted to keep them the same day.
I never knew that about you, Steve.
Yeah,
Steven? Steve?
It was 2 birthdays ago for me. It was just let's change something else. Today's a milestone day. And then I decided, well, you're not going to drink for a year. And then that year was the best year of my
All right.
life.
Interesting. This is interesting to me.
Okay.
Because it was never So did you have a problem, or did you just say, I think I'm going to just see how it goes not drinking?
At the time, I was, I'll see how it goes not drinking. And then the more the more people would ask, like, did you have a problem? And I'd be like, no, absolutely, I don't have a problem. And then I would tell stories. I would tell stories of this one time I did this or this one time I do that. And then people who I really know, I tell them I stopped drinking, and they're immediately like, that's great. And I'm like, oh God, did I? I never thought I had a problem. I just thought I was rearing the corner of a vicious cycle.
All right. So was your life completely out of control?
No.
All right. So that's
Yeah.
It's not like this is one day at a time for you.
Fair.
You're not white knuckling it.
No.
Okay. All right. So, but congratulations
Yes,
anyways.
that's. I feel it's taken me 2 years to feel like not a certain type of way from even saying the word sobriety or because I know that connotates a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where I'm going through so much. Whereas for me, it was just I'm gonna make a change. See how those 12 months go versus the other 12 months.
Because some people, 2 years later, and still it is a struggle 1 day at a time. Sometimes not even that, like 1 minute at a time, right? Or 1 hour at a time. Yeah, so it's different for different people, and like to blanket, throw everyone in the same, category. It's just, it's different.
I was trying to do a vlog about it when I first started, and that was the problem I was running into is that people who would watch the vlog and it would be like, this guy doesn't.
No, it's like, do you remember, oh shit, the pot movie with David?
David Tell?
No, not David. No. Chappelle
yes,
and Harlan Williams, all that.
No, not Half Baked.
Half Baked.
Oh, was it Half Baked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're in a meet. Like,
Yeah.
Chappelle shows up to the AA meeting or the NA meeting, and he's like, "I'm addicted to marijuana." And like Bob Saget's in the background, "Marijuana? Have you ever sucked dick for marijuana?" You know, like that. It's like,
I
so,
think it was suck toes or something, and it was like
Whatever.
That's kind of how I felt for the 2 years. But in the same sense of like, I'm making a change. Things are better.
Did
things
you
have-
ever think to myself like, "Oh man, I need a beer right now, man. I'd suck some dick for a beer right now."
Never the second one.
Denise.
I just find that stuff hilarious in like a funny, sad way.
Never the second one, but the first one, and I think part of what was helping me is every time I had the thought of like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go home and have a drink," and then be like, "Well, that's a problem. You should really deal with this in this moment and actually move forward more healthily."
Sure.
And then I've noticed in the last 2 years there have been a lot more like
Right.
sound offy emails from me
Okay.
with people who've I've gotten
All
good.
right. Well, congratulations
Yes, thank
and
you.
happy birthday,
Thank
Steve.
you.
Yeah. Just you piqued my curiosity on
That's
that one.
It's an interesting story. It'll always be
So
an
is it
interesting
just
story.
okay? I don't
Yeah.
need to spend too much time
Please.
on this, but I mean, is it just an alcohol thing? How about the pot? Are you a pot guy?
I was
Like,
never a pot guy. It
so
always made
is
me
that
paranoid.
off limits to you now too?
It's not off limits to me. I just haven't. It's not something I've really messed with since high school.
Interesting. Okay.
It was, and I was always like, oh, it made me paranoid and weird, and my heart races. And people say like, oh, you need to try this strain. And I'm like, try that strain, or that's just what your body does.
Yeah, or you just I'm not a pot guy.
Yeah, I'm just not.
Because there's that too, everyone.
I'm not the marijuana type.
I do know a lot of people that think,
Oh, it's for everyone.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
the panacea.
it's-
The silver bullet, like the cure-all, and it does help a lot of things, and helps me. But anyways,
yeah.
enough about all that. I went hiking. I went hiking this weekend.
Where at?
It's a place. It's out. I'm in Pasadena, like Eagle Rock area right now, and so it's a little past that. It's like 25 minutes past that. And the Santa Anita Mountains, and there's a Hermit Falls on one side, and it's down in this canyon, and then on the other side, it's a thing called Studevant Falls, and so it's this big hike down, deep down into the canyon, and it's like, a mile and change to get down in there, and then a mile back up. And I got a backpack on, and Michael Klaus, who's an AfterBuzz guy, and a lot of people. I'm not going to spend too much time telling you Michael Klaus is. Just people around here know him, and he's like one of the people helping run AfterBuzz right now. So, and good guy. So he went with me. He's like 20. Anyways, he's like mid 20s, and I think he may or may not have had a hard time keeping up with me. At least I'm telling myself that. So yeah, it was. You hike down, and then like it was. I didn't fuck around on the way back up, and it wasn't just walking back up. Like I was chugging the whole way, like basically trying to run the whole way back up. And then we got back up, and then it's like, hey, you want to go down the other side? And I've never actually done both sides before, and it's ended up being like 5-6 mile hike, but not just a hike. It was when you're going in and out of those canyons. That was a lot of work. My legs were fucking killing me. Oh my God, my knees were screaming. First time ever. I kind of fell off a little bit on my eating habits, and so like I've introduced a little bit of. I've been eating some pancakes lately, you guys. Did I tell you guys
Yeah,
that?
you
This
did.
came up, yeah.
Yeah. And the gluten and anyways, like I've even a little bit of cheese back into my diet. So I noticed my knees started screaming.
Oof.
Yeah, during this hike. And they hurt. They don't hurt while I'm like chugging on the way up. It's like when you're walking downhill for people like me. And I know a lot of my friends that are a little older than me that would talk about, oh yeah, no, it fucking kills your knees when you're walking downhill. I couldn't relate to that as much until this weekend. And now I'm like, oh fuck. It's kind of like when you get your first gray hair, but worse. It's like, okay, I'm getting old. Or I need to start eating better again. because
think it's
that's
a
a
little
big
bit of
deal.
both.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, I notice it. Like the inflammation in the joints when I don't eat properly. Sugar, dairy, gluten. So.
But you're that person that actually goes to the hike and does the hike. You're not the one that just goes and takes selfies.
No, I
takes a
did.
Cheeto
Took a
break.
few selfies too. Don't get me wrong. Just to prove that it actually happened.
But you
for all
earn
those
the
people out
selfie.
there. Yeah, yeah. No, it was a lot of work. Anyways, and yeah, we had another was fostering another pit bull, and name was Chi Chi, and she was only there for a day, or 2 days, and it's so hard. It's so hard for me each time we get one, and we get ready for somebody else. I get attached, and even after a couple days, like if they can't stay, like this particular one, she was so sweet, a lot of energy though, but oh my God, I just sat and cried like a baby when she left, because you just get attached, and people go, oh God, whatever, but hey, this is just me, and I cry a lot for shit that's worth crying over. Fuck.
So are you fostering a series of dogs now? Is that what's happening?
Here and there,
Okay.
whenever like they need, they reach out and say, hey, can you take one right now, and try to accommodate.
And I'm sure you never say no, right? You're always like, yeah, I'll take it.
Sometimes like, okay, no, we're going to be out of town, or
Sounds like a travel thing.
Yeah, and then some of them may or may not, be okay with other dogs, like Lou. Like, and especially because Lou isn't okay with other dogs. So when the dog, when when they try to get friendly with her, and she goes fucking ballistic on them and goes psycho, they don't know how to act. They don't know how to respond to that. And the big ol' ass pit bull might just have enough of her and go, all right, shut the fuck up.
Does she get jealous?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, she does. So, all right. What else was I going to say? It just seems like I'm forgetting something. I don't know. What would fuck it? If I remember, I remember.
All right.
Let's just talk about some shit.
Want to get into the news? All right,
Yeah,
well,
why not?
I guess the main thing that we're going to talk about today for the news is somewhat sort of controversial. I've seen a lot of different fans and in wrestlers themselves have different opinions about this,
Yeah.
but let's just go ahead and get into some of the facts. So Bully Ray is being investigated by Ring of Honor after an alleged incident occurred at one of their past events. So essentially, there is a fan who said that he was booing Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, and Mandy Leone during the show. According to him, he was telling them, basically that he was just booing them, this like, you're trash, get lost, nobody wants you here, sort of thing. And this happened 2 times because they came out twice during the show.
Yeah.
And during both the show, they had an uncomfortable, I guess you can say, interaction. I'm going to repeat what he said now. So he said that Velvet Sky lost her cool during the second time that she came out, challenged him to get into the ring. She said, and I quote, tells me to suck it, calls me a pussy, etc. She calls me a virgin. I remind her she has sex with that fat turd Bully Ray, call them the Tramp Stamp Trio, end segment. Again, this is a quote from what he wrote on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he said that Mandy Leon spits on him and says that he never tries to make the show about him, so that he's very shocked that all of this happened. Afterwards, they came out again. They had the same thing. This went back and forth. And then afterwards, he gets a tap on the shoulder by security, and security escorts him out. And he thinks that this is in regards to Mandy spitting on him. They don't actually tell him, like, hey, this is what's happening. This is why we're taking you to the back.
Yeah.
So he gets to the back, and then afterwards, Bully Ray comes out, and according to him, he says he basically tells him that, to act like a fan, to be more respectful, etc., and then tells him to go back out there. So basically, that's what he said happens. And then Bully Ray said that in the end, he wrote that the conversation essentially lasted only 30 seconds, that all he did, he wrote, and I quote, At the end of the day, I'm guilty of defending 3 women that needed a bit of defending, not by being a bully, but by being a man. Bully said that fans who attended the show also confirmed that this fan had crossed the line multiple times with both men and women. So now I guess you can say the argument is who's right, who's wrong. Is there a right and wrong in this sort of situation when you have something like this between a fan and a wrestler? Because on one hand, you have athletes and wrestlers that are human beings. They're going out there, they're putting on a show. And then on the other hand, you also have a fan that pays a ticket to have a good time, etc. So I don't know. What do you guys want to go into your thoughts on here?
So the beginning of that, you said Velvet Sky just lost her cool.
Yes. So it's okay. So
for nothing. She just lost, so she's been.
He was telling her stuff. He was calling her, saying like you're trash, blah blah blah.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say it was probably a little more than your average, heckling of the heels. I'm just guessing, and it seems to be, the claim of Bubba, and supposedly some other people on social media confirm that, but there's no. We haven't seen any of that, right? But I'm just going by what these two say, and their stories kind of match up to me, like from don't they?
Right.
Yep.
Well, they do, because there was essentially 2 separate occasions. The first was a dark match, and then afterwards Allure came out and they did the attack. So when they came out, he said that he was just giving them heel heat.
I mean the actual confrontation, like the stories match up.
Right.
No, it's just one person feels. Or what's the problem here?
I think.
Why is this even that big of fucking news?
Well, because
I don't get it.
I think Ring of Honor's investigating Bully Ray based on all the tweets that that this guy said, and Bully Ray had to come out and say, "I didn't think this was that big a deal either." Until this guy made a whole thread, made himself have to look like a victim.
Look, here's the thing. I've read on Twitter some people's response to Bully Ray to Bubba. I call him Bubba on this, and like. Maybe I'm missing something here, like in people that are like jumping his shit over his response. Was it the best idea to have him brought in a private room where like you can, things can be claimed, like accusations can be made, and it's only you two, like his word versus your word. Probably not the best idea, but. I'm just going by what the fan said himself. I don't see the big deal here.
I think the big deal about in terms of from the fans' perspective is that he was left alone, from what I understand, in a room with a wrestler. Yeah. And essentially when he's the person with no authority and no one's telling you what's happening and you're maybe getting a little bit scared. Yeah. Granted, this is not to say whether or not he deserved this. I'm not saying that. But the issue here was that he was left alone. Yeah. With somebody that didn't have, I guess you can say, the authority to be in that room alone to tell him, like, hey, buddy, you got to be more respectful, etc. I think the fact that he was just left there alone with somebody who's that's not his job.
So where's the harm? Somebody get their feelings hurt? Someone got scared a little bit? Okay. I get it. I get some people, it's like, but
and then
big
other
fucking
people
deal.
Are upset that some people are saying, oh, so what? You can't say anything now when you go to a wrestling event. I did see this comment. Somebody left it on Bully Ray's Twitter. He basically said, like, oh, so it's 2019, so all of a sudden now fans can't say anything bad. But then again, there is a certain line that you cross.
There is a line. And you'll know it. You'll know it's being crossed when you fucking hear it.
Yeah.
Well, I felt it just reading this. Yes. I was embarrassed to read this because this is what was said. Yeah. But this isn't something that you say to somebody either way, regardless. Like, he brought up something that is separate from what's happening on the show and something that is private, and you don't talk about stuff like that. That's private. You do the basic, you booze, you suck, whatever. But you don't say other stuff like this.
Yeah. Look, there's shit talking, like heckling wrestlers, and if you go step over the line, I obviously, I don't know. I come from a different era. But I try to see things, I try to look at things, and I think I do a pretty good job compared to a lot of people from my generation when it comes to seeing things, from, everyone's point of view. And I just think this is really being blown completely out of proportion. And I have some friends that probably disagree with me, and I don't know what to tell you. I'm just not fucking seeing the huge issue here.
Also,
I got an idea. Like, let's fucking put Bubba's head in the guillotine and chop his fucking head off. I mean, what do we want? What do we want done here? What do we want done?
ROH is
Fire him? Shut the fuck up. Just okay. How about an apology? Is that good enough? Shouldn't have put you in the room like and scared you. If you were scared, sorry.
Yeah. Also, we haven't heard a direct quote of what this fan said that warranted all that.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was probably a little bit over the line, because these ladies have, and all of us, like, especially them, they've been around a minute. Like those girls, I've known them for, I don't know, over 10 years, and they've heard some shit before. It's not like they're thin-skinned and can't handle being, fucked with out there, especially as heels. And women in our industry and the shit they have to go through behind the scenes, let alone the shit they have to listen to from fucking rude fucking fans. And I don't mean that, like, I'm not painting a broad brush with, like, on fans, because I love all y'all. But there's some of it's over the line.
Well, there's some fans that don't behave the way they should.
And they're entitled, and they I'm not making it about me, but actually you probably are. Probably are.
If you cross the line so much that they, while in the ring working, call you out, you probably cross the line.
I just think it's insane that this is a fucking news story.
So now, Sean, what do you think? Because Ring of Honor is investigating this.
Nothing's going to come of this.
You don't think that they have to do right by the fans? Because then other fans could be upset about this. They could be like, oh, so what if I do something bad that isn't really bad in their eyes?
No. I bet you, I'm pretty sure that this kind of thing's not going to happen again. Right? I mean, do you think that, like,
well, there's not that many people that go to shows and get. I mean, there's people that get rowdy,
nothing is going to happen.
But nothing like that,
It's They're looking into it. There's nothing to. I mean, there's not much more to look into, from what I can tell, and I just think it's ridiculous that this is even a big story. But I sat and just spent, 10 minutes talking about it, so what the fuck?
But obviously, the girls were upset that this was happening to them, and this was also happening to the male talent. I don't know which ones, but this was said that it was also happening to the male talent. So now I'm wondering, instead, shouldn't the protocol just been, hey, let's have the security, just take them out, escort them out, and that's it.
Fuck out of here.
Show out. Like, they didn't, because now, now obviously
if it's that
unfortunate.
if it's that big a deal, just kick them out.
Yeah, because now it's unfortunate for Bully Ray to have to be dealing with this and having to defend yourself, and nobody wants to be in a situation where they're having to defend themselves.
Bubba's not done himself any favors like in the past, like how he's, like there's been a few incidents with fans or whatnot, but that's
ECW Bubba. Made his name on trying to cause a riot like this
or whatever. I'm not really.
Yeah.
I just know Bubba from when we were in, WWE together.
But before that, he would go out of his way to do.
Okay, that was a different environment and different time, and we grow as people, and Bubba's a big and he still comes off like a dick, right? Like on TV, and it's easy to, and he's a big old intimidating fucker. So, but still, I mean, where's the harm here? And okay, hey Bubba, don't do that again. Okay, I won't do that again. End of fucking story.
So should the fan just not have said anything then? Just like, this happened, I got in trouble.
He's welcome to say whatever he wants, but he looks like a fucking crybaby jackass. Oh, poor me. Fuck. Legit. If you ended up in the back when I was growing up, and when you very well there's a good chance you weren't gonna leave fucking bloody. I mean, it's a different day and age. It's not. I mean, things are so different now. So if was he probably trying to intimidate him a little bit, scare him a little bit? Sure. Is it the worst thing in the world? Not at all. And some people might disagree with me. Actually, I know some people do.
Well, no one agrees on everything.
Yes. Yeah. So, like, if you're going to weigh in on something and come down on a certain, side of something, there's usually going to be, like, half the people are going to disagree with you on it. So, whatever. Mm-hmm. Hopefully not half on this thing. Oh, my God. All right.
All right.
Well,
we're going to go. We'll go ahead and move on, and we're talking
I'm
about.
not even going to talk about Jim Cornette, Joey Ryan, and all that. Like, I'm not even. But I'm acknowledging it. Like that. That's a thing. But no, thank you. I am not weighing in on that one.
Okay, we're moving on then. NXT TakeOver 25, which is people have been absolutely raving about this show. And I guess you can say there's plenty of reasons why they were raving about this show. So let's kind of go ahead and get into it. There was a lot of good things that happened on the show, starting off with Matt Riddle defeating Roderick Strong. What did you think about that match?
What'd you think about it, Denise?
Okay, so this is the match that I didn't get to see, all right? I was late. I was coming from work. I started watching live because I didn't want to start watching from the beginning because I had FOMO and I wanted to be a part of what people were talking about on Twitter at the moment. So I started watching a little late, but hey, it's okay.
It's a toss-up. Like, for me, that and the main event on which one was the match of the night. And I'm just giving a slight edge to the main event. Just because of the magnitude of the match and the build-up and, and obviously just because it was just a masterpiece of a pro wrestling match. But Matt and Roddy, fuck. I mean, like I said, if someone tells me I think that was the best match of the night, I'm not going to argue with them. I just, just the way they started, the way the match built, like all the groundwork they did, all the mat wrestling, and just, it was just such a thing of beauty. And in the different ways of using the ropes, in the different ways of, hitting the ropes and just making things look different than everyone else. And it was so good. So good. Not to mention, I'm a huge fan of both of those guys. So,
I think this match was incredible. I think.
Yeah. It's one of those things that makes it's one of those matches that I can go when somebody goes, "Who's your favorite wrestler right now?" I'm go, "This guy," and this is why.
Here's the link.
Yes.
I think this was this is a match I want to be kind of a turning point for NXT as a standalone brand, because I think there's still a lot of sentiment when matches like this happen of like, oh, they should call this guy up, they should call that guy up. Whereas me, I'm like, no. These two guys should be wherever they are to do matches like this.
Yeah.
Whether that's NXT, whether they both come up together and keep doing this, I don't keep doing that.
Yeah. So, very, very tough. When that's the first match, it's tough to go out and follow it. But, those guys in that. It was a triple...
Four-way ladder match. Street
Yeah.
Profits, Undisputed Era, Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch, and the Forgotten Sons.
Did anyone see the Street Profits coming out on top? Did anyone predict that?
I didn't predict it, but when I went to the NXT Riverside show a few months ago, they were a highlight for me. When I saw them, I was like, man, these guys, they're gonna be something. But I didn't predict them winning though.
And it was such a feel good moment, and I felt because I know interacting with them and that. And because when people are really good people and you can just tell and they're really good and they're really talented and something like this happens, makes me even that much happier for them. I don't know, that should go without saying. Did I really have to say all that? Good people. You're happy for good people, Sean. Duh.
Well, they have charisma, they have energy, they connect very well as a tag team, and I think that for them, I tweeted this out because I felt that for them, this was a star-making match for them. This was a moment for them to be seen at a higher level than maybe we had been seeing them in the past.
And what a cool, the spot, where he jumps from the ropes to the ladder and lands on the ladder, and you know what I'm talking about?
Dude, there are so many spots. This match was crazy.
The finish.
Yeah. NXT does a pretty good job with tag teams in general, but also tag teams that have what I would call a main roster gimmick, like the Street Profits, where you'd be like, oh, and then the bell rings and you're like, oh no, they're really good. Enzo and Kaz is another good example of what would feel like a main roster gimmick, and then the bell rings, like, oh, they're actually presenting them as legitimate competitors, that they can ride that line real well, and this was kind of a coming out party in that way. For
NXT they have a few tag teams that are kind of the traditional, almost bookend tag team, as I like to put it. You know, like Street Profits are kind of bookend tag teamish, like, and they wear the same, same tights and all that, and kind of like the Forgotten Sons are kind of have that little bit of a feel to it, where they're, you know, it's obvious they're a group or a team, right? When you look at them, right?
They match.
Yeah, it's not like I'll go back, you know,
but Revival
or like those guys are kind of, they're not bookendish, but they're still obviously
a team.
Yeah, kind of Arn and Tully-ish, you know. What the fuck was I saying?
Tag teams in NXT.
All right.
But this match was great.
I had a point and then I lost it. And some of you will make fun of me about that, and that's just fine.
Well, I think the thing about this match,
when you've had like 100 concussions, get back to me and you can do a show this good. I mean, yes, like I was watching the show back last week, and I'm talking about all my knows and all those other things you say,
non-fluencies.
Yeah, and I'm working on that, folks. Some people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't have pointed it out." Now I can't help but notice it. Well, that means I just got to stop fucking doing it all the time. That's all. Anyway, where were we?
Oh, wait, well, we're still with the tag team match, but one of the things that I liked personally about this match, that it was a ladder match.
Yeah.
You know, like, this wasn't just spots, right? They were spots, but they were also so many creative uses of the ladder that I think made it that much exciting. And I know this is nothing new, but I need to point this out because Morrow during this match was absolutely incredible. And this is to say he's incredible with everything he does, right? But this match, there was a point in this match where I was like, man, Morrow isn't even saying words anymore. He's just saying sounds. And somehow, some way, I understand what these sounds mean and what he's trying to convey in this match. And for me, it really made the excitement go up the extra notch because you had the crowd, and I know you mentioned that you like the crowd for the show.
Yeah, what a great crowd. Holy crap. They need wish there was a way to reward them besides just, the great wrestler. That's a good enough reward. Never mind. They were rewarded.
But a mixture of all of that, the mixture of what you're seeing in the ring, what you're hearing, and then plus the fan sound, all of that really added to this particular match, and then again with the main event.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, but
so, and I just want to talk about, well, obviously congratulations to the Street Profits on being the new NXT Tag Team Champions, and I also I want to acknowledge the great job that everyone else did in that match, and especially I'm a big fan of Oni Lorcan's, so I always want to give him a thumbs up, and Danny Burch and Kyle O'Reilly and who's Kyle's partner? Bobby Fish. Holy fuck! Sorry, Bobby.
Well,
it's the concussions, I swear.
You said when you were down at NXT a few months ago, a few weeks ago, whatever. You said that one of the standouts for you was Oni Lorcan, and you said to keep an eye out on him. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, for sure. But there's so many. There's so many, and so many of them are just could be the ones that break out.
To be a standout in NXT right now has to just be incredible.
It's to me here's what I tell people these days when it comes to standing out, like doing the moves great and having the amazing moves. Unless you're Ricochet, you need to have something more than the moves. You need to have all the in between the move shit, and your character, your charisma, just. All of that, all of those extra things are the things that are going to get you to stand out. not your moves, unless you're, like I said, unless you're Ricochet or, one of those
Ospreay or
guys.
something like that.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Okay.
What was I? Where were we?
Moving on to the next match, Velveteen Dream defeating Tyler Breeze.
How long did they build this match up for?
I'm not too sure on that one because
Not
I know
long,
Tyler
not long.
Breeze just essentially
Yeah.
came back and all of that, and you're sort of seeing his new,
Yeah.
I guess you can see development.
Did you guys see the Walmart tweet? Fucking Walmart tweeted about this match.
They did?
Yes.
What did they say?
Yeah, look it up.
Oh,
Yeah, I
did
can't believe
not
you guys
know.
didn't see it.
That's super random, Walmart.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, Steve's looking for it. But what did you think in general of this match?
I thought it was, especially, Tyler Breeze coming back to NXT. To me, like, however you want to look at that as a move-wise, whether it's
Whether it's lateral or down.
or whatever, yes. They work different down there, and they work different in NXT, and it's you got to bring it more. I think, nothing against the,
It's apples and
Oh
oranges.
fuck! Sometimes the way when I say things, I'm like worried about. I don't want to make
No, the NXT.
It's a different style, and it's more like
It's apples and oranges.
and it's more of that. I don't want to say strong style or any of that, but that go out there and just balls to the wall style. All the innovative stuff and all that, and for Tyler to come back down there, and I thought for coming down, I thought he stepped up nicely. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It's not a step down, basically. What you're saying is
Exactly.
going from the main roster to NXT.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
For
this
some
is-
people, it's not a step down at all because they ain't doing fuck all with him on the main roster. So, yeah, I thought it was a really good match. And so, did anyone find that Walmart tweet? Or did,
It's still.
oh, that's right. Never mind. Just fuck it.
Well, one of the things that I personally liked about this match is that this was one of the matches where I felt we could really see what Tyler can do
Yeah.
when you let him shine.
Yeah.
And both Velveteen and Tyler are known for having these like characters that you just gravitate towards, So
That
I
was
think-
what the Walmart tweet was,
really?
was saying that. Basically that Prince Pretty was Velveteen Dream before Velveteen Dream. Something along those lines.
That is a hot take from Walmart.
Fucking Walmart.
I might have it, Sean. I've got Prince Pretty was Velveteen Dream back when Patrick Clark was sitting in hot tubs on Tough Enough.
Yes.
Is that the tweet?
That's
Yeah.
the one.
Shady.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, you got it.
Wow.
From Walmart.
Now I'm very curious who from Walmart wrote that,
I don't know.
Corporate
That's pretty
synergy,
cool.
y'all.
That's pretty cool. All right, any more thoughts on this match or want to move on?
No, let's move on.
All right, so the next match after this was Shayna Baszler defeated Io Shirai in what was a really
what a-
exciting match.
What a great match. Wow. Yeah. Just God, I look at these matches and I'm like and so I go down there to Florida and I'll be going back down there next week to teach them things and I look at that and I'm like, holy fuck, what am I supposed to teach them when that's the kind of shit they're coming up with on their own? But they're not coming up with that on their own, I don't think. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just blown away by all of it. I consider myself one of the people in my generation and in my time that was like that. That was innovating and, coming up with new ways of doing things and new ways of going in and out of things. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, holy shit. Boy, they take it to the next level and then some. And I'm not sure if Io and Shayna, I can hear Lou down there. Lula's snoring, everyone. Io and Shayna, I imagine they've had one or two matches before that. I don't know.
I think this is their first one-on-one.
Ever?
Probably probably house show loops or something.
Or
I'm sure
in Japan, they never worked in Japan.
Shayna wouldn't
okay.
have.
Why? She worked in Japan.
Did she?
I think.
Then
I'm
I'll
pretty
have
sure.
to.
At least she fought over there.
But I think
So-
this is their first one-on-one encounter. Someone will tell me.
It was just really brilliant. It was and you know, I could say the same thing about every match on the show, like when it comes to just
What did you think of
all
the
the
finish?
new. I really
this
liked
match?
it. Yeah, I really liked it.
At first, for the first time that I saw it, I was like, man, I wanted this match to keep going because I really wanted to see more of Io Shirai because I felt like she was on this row and then all of a sudden it was cut down. But then when I watched the replay, I was kind of like, you know what? That kind of makes sense because she's got her groove going in this match, and then all of a sudden it's taken down. Why? Because Shayna has that like secret weapon that she can pull out anytime she wants, and therefore, bam, match over. So like no matter what
Yeah.
Io Shirai did in this match, Shayna had the one thing that was gonna like beat her down. And, or
Are
take
you
her
talking
down,
about the
etc.
aftermath, or are you talking about the
Oh
actual
no,
finish?
I'm
actual
talking about
finish.
the actual finish. And then speaking of the post match, that's why I also really enjoyed the post match because I didn't want, as a person that I was rooting for Io Shirai, I didn't want to see Io Shirai's end just like that with the actual match finish. I wanted to see more of her. So then when Io Shirai did her post-match beatdown, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I like because for a second there, I thought that was going to be it. So with Io Shirai doing the post-match stuff, that made me more... made me connect with her a little bit more as a performer and as a character and all of that stuff.
Did you? Because I read some people commenting on it in this way, like, you know, like she's the villain because she did that. Like, I just think she's human. You know? I mean, I don't know. Did you get that?
That's how commentary played it off. Like, she's human,
Yeah.
she's fed up, she's exhausted, whatever.
She cracked. She snapped.
Yeah.
You know, fuck, shit happens. You know, good people do, you know, go over the edge sometimes. So.
Well, and then like the 3-on-1 attacks and the bullying and like everything the villain put her through. I don't think we're.
Shayna's just so great.
God.
Shayna is just so great.
I think we can officially say Shayna's the best NXT Women's Champion.
Ever.
Ever.
Oh yeah. Yes. And my favorite and of all the women that are currently wrestling right now. Period.
I mean,
not
she's-
just WWE, NXT, but like everywhere. I'm not saying she's the best technically. She's my favorite.
No, she's one of the best acts in women's wrestling currently.
Absolutely.
She makes
Yeah.
as a character, she makes the absolute.
She
most
knows what
sense.
she know, and when she says something, I believe what she's saying because she believes it when she's saying it, and she just knows her. She just knows her character. She knows. I mean, because it's her. I think, you know, and I like the ladies together. I like you know, Marina and Jessamine with and Shayna together.
I wish they gave a bit more to Marina and Jessamine aside from just being with Shayna, in the sense of a character that like.
They're newer.
Yeah.
They're way newer. They're not nearly as experienced as she is. So, yeah, they're just baby steps.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. And then getting into it, which was the main event, Adam Cole defeated Johnny Gargano in what was a super crazy match. I don't even know how to describe it.
It was. Ooh wee. And I shot Sean a text. I'm like, that main event has you written all over it, Sean. Just, I mean, and he's so proud. You know, to be done in the ring and not think you'll be able to feel that, you know, satisfaction and get your fix like we got in the ring. And then, you know, and then Sean's told me, like, and then he goes there to, you know, to the performance center and he's working with these guys and ladies. And he gets to feel that fix again vicariously through, you know, last night Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano and whoever else's match he had something to do with, which maybe had something to do with the ladder match for obvious reasons.
I could see
And that might be the reason why they put the ladder over so much in the match. And, you know what I mean? It's a ladder match, and the ladder's the gimmick. And so many ladder matches, they just get around to the ladder when they have a spot to do with the ladder. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, yeah, so Sean might have had something to do with, you know, helping out with that too. But, yeah. I'm not trying to put all the credit on Sean here. This is Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano's, you know.
How'd you feel about the title switch?
I thought it was right. Yeah, I thought it was right. And some people are like, oh, they hate Johnny Gargano. No, they don't. They love him. They love him.
If they hated him, he wouldn't be in the main event.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the main event.
Do you think that this match topped the 2 out of 3 falls during WrestleMania weekend?
Yes. I personally do. Yeah.
I thought so too, just because I felt it more. It's different. It's weird because obviously I was there for the 2 out of 3 falls match, and this match I wasn't there. And for me to still feel like I felt this match was better I think that's just, it made me more excited when I was watching this match than the last match, and I was in different places at different times.
Okay, and I read one particular criticism saying, oh, they no-sold everything, no-sold all this, and no-sold all that. Okay, and it was coming from somebody, it wasn't coming from somebody in the industry. It was coming from and not that, like, if you're not in the industry, your opinion doesn't matter, because it does. But it's just some of the way people come off like they know fucking everything. There's no selling. Just because the selling isn't done how you think it should be done or how you're used to seeing it done does not mean there was no selling. If there was no selling, the people, the reactions in the match let you know whether everything is working properly. And there was the selling in this was incredible. It was fantastic. Okay, sometimes we need to get up from something to keep the crowd from
Fizzling.
From dropping out, and to keep the momentum going. And you can sell on the way up as you're getting up from something, too. Not just like, just lay there on the ground and sell it. Like, there's different ways of selling, folks. And I'm going by the crowd reactions and how I felt watching it as a fan.
And not only that, these two have worked together quite a few times now. So it's kind of like, that took me down last time, but it's not going to happen this time because this time I want it more because we already have this history and I want to be the better man and I want to beat you. So, I felt that was a story that I told. So instead of seeing it as, he no-sold him, no, it was more I wanted it more.
The selling was masterfully done. Like the knee. Like selling the knee and like trying to get up and
even when he went through the ropes
and stumbling just to give him enough time to. I mean, just some of the shit I noticed was just the detail stuff and the actual selling that some of you think wasn't occurring. It was brilliant. This is a masterpiece of a match.
That is a very layman's opinion to think, they're kicking out at 2 on the finish. That must be a no sell.
And then somebody was like, with the submission, why didn't he just reach back and poke him in the eyes? I actually read that from somebody that was complaining about the submission finish. He's like, first of all, unless you've actually been put in that submission hold, like, you can't tell me what the fuck you would do in it. You'd be screaming.
And even if you were like handedly enough to not be screaming about it, like, your head's up here, how are you going to aim at someone's eye? Like,
sorry, I'm getting worked up on this.
No, but that's
it's just like come on. People will take something that, I mean, okay, there's flaws in everything. Even the most perfect diamond has a flaw in it, right? And so instead of just just looking at that diamond and enjoying the beauty of it, they want to go and fucking find that one little booger in it, right? Enjoy the fucking beauty of the diamond, for fuck's sakes. All right.
Yeah. Also, like, there's a certain magic to wrestling where it's like about selling that it's like let them sell you. that if you're walking into a match like this saying, "Oh, they're no selling everything," like, no, you just don't want to buy in. That's on you. That's not on them.
All right.
All right. Well, overall, great show. Great show.
Yeah.
Is the general consensus?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
got to call. I texted Hunter, and I just got a. Oh, what was it? Where is it?
A thumbs up. Was it a?
I'm not sharing like real secret. Like it's not like a really personal text.
We're all excited. We're
No,
like,
it's nothing.
eyeballs coming out. No, I'm just kidding.
I actually that Triple H documentary. You were in it a bunch, and I took a bunch of screenshots. Meant to send them to you. I have them on my phone. I will.
So I just texted him, after it was over. I said, "This one topped the last one. Unbelievable." He texted me back, #follow that. And I texted him back, #it's gonna be hard. So yeah.
So follow that, Rob.
I was asked, so do you think that like everyone stepped it up more because of AEW? And I'm like, they do the same fucking thing every NXT takeover. And this was no different. So whether or not like that played into it, like it still, like this is just what they do. This is what they fucking do.
Yeah, it's not like if all of a sudden TakeOver was good.
Yeah.
It's been good.
It's not like all of a sudden, like, okay, wow, all of a sudden now we have a Raw that was, different than other Raws recently. Did I say that? Like, anyways, I'm trying to be nice.
But some people really liked Raw this week. So
Yeah, I thought it was good.
there was a lot of key moments.
Yeah.
Want to go into that?
Yeah, I guess my point was like some, people obviously will say, oh, this, they had to step up Raw because of, AEW or this or that. And I just don't think it's easily said about NXT because they always go out there and fucking kill it. That's all I meant by that.
Like kind of on an island. Like NXT on an island as a brand is just like, no, we're going to do this because that's what we're known for. We're known for really going over the top every time.
Yeah.
It's our 25th show.
All right.
All right. Well, some of the Raw moments. I know you want to talk about Reigns, Usos versus Drew and Drew McIntyre and the Revival. What did you think
It was
of that?
good, right? It was good. Like I didn't see the whole. Like I wasn't following it like every second of the match, but like I liked the as far as in-ring openings go, like and like all of that. But did they get in ring or did he just come on the stage? How did that whole thing go?
Did Roman
The opening of the show was Shane and.
I think Roman was in the ring and then Shane stayed on the stage.
Yeah. So like as far as those things go, and that whole like opening segment, the way they do it can get tired out and that. But I thought as far as those go, it was pretty good and it did a decent job of setting up that first match and the people were into it and. I like Roman with the Usos.
It's a good
Yeah.
combination.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I was
they
going
belong
to say.
together. It's because everyone needs allies. But no, it's good. Like I thought. I don't know. I've been really enjoying the Revival lately. I think regardless of what's going on with them and what the company's doing with them,
They've been elevating their game.
I like it. I like what and I didn't look. It wasn't like the greatest segment or whatever ever shown on Raw, like the shower scene with the shaving the back. I didn't think it was that big a deal. Honestly, you could, people can go, oh, they're punishing them and they're trying to just, make them look bad or whatever.
If they were really punishing them, they wouldn't put them on TV because there's plenty of other people.
I don't know. All I'm saying is I've been enjoying the Revival lately. That's all.
All right. And then one of the other moments that we had was Ray relinquishing the U.S. title and then Samoa Joe sort of attacking him right after when he turns his back.
It was fine. It was predictable, but it was fine.
I kind of liked it, though.
Yeah, it was fine.
I don't know why. I felt that this was like with their whole everything that they've been doing. This was probably the most interesting part of what I've seen happen with what's going on. I was like, okay, it was very simple, but it did the job.
We need a little bit more simple, actually. Like like it's whenever we try to complicate things and all of that, I just
Samoa Joe.
I like my wrestling programming simple.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe specifically is best very simple. It's already down to the name. He's a Samoan Joe. We're there. You take one look and you hear the name. You're like, oh, I'm in. Yeah. I know what I'm in for.
Yeah, like it was just one of those things where it's very easy. You know who the good guy is. You know who the bad guy is. Bam, move on with that. All right, one of the other things that we want to talk about, do you want to talk about also Lacey Evans interrupting Becky Lynch and then their whole confrontation with Lacey Evans, Becky Lynch, Charlotte?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It moved things along.
I think Lacey Evans she's really been drawing in the heat for her, I think. And I think every week I've been noticing it a little bit more and more.
Yeah.
And I did like the part where Charlotte said that she's looking to beat her dad's record or she's...
I like that.
She mentioned that and basically saying like, oh, Lacey, like you just came here, but I'm already at this level where I'm about to top my own father, etc.
Yeah, I like the dialogue. I like the things that people are saying on this Raw. Like I like the back and forth, exchanges. They feel, I don't know. There's just more behind the things that people are saying, and yeah.
Because even Triple H, Randy Orton, they had a nice face-off together. Yeah. I liked the part where Randy told Triple H, like, "Oh, get your balls out of Stephanie's purse." That was funny. And I like the part where Triple H was, at first, he was putting over Randy, saying like, "You're one of the best," etc. But then they took it back, and I thought it was a really nice back and forth between them. It
was, yeah.
Also, I think building up to this Friday show, they're doing a decent job of giving, that's probably the only segment we're going to get promoting a Triple H Randy Orton match, because that's all we probably need. Yeah. Triple H Randy Orton marquee. They had one segment.
Well, so apparently, they were in Austin, Texas. They were in Austin, Texas. Boy, they were big fans of NXT in that building last night, because when Hunter came out and he had the mic and he was standing in the ring and he's getting ready to say something, and people they broke out the NXT chant.
That's awesome.
And then, obviously, for those that watch, you heard what he said. And I'm here to talk about Randy Orton. And then they hit his music right away so that people couldn't chant NXT anymore.
Which I'm sure inside of himself he was like, yes.
Yeah, Yeah, maybe. Maybe not.
I would be like, yeah,
Yeah, but so people are trying to, I see people trying to stir shit, or maybe that's just, fair speculation, about, because of the things that that Moxley said on this podcast,
with Chris Jericho.
Yeah, concerning, Hunter would be better. Hunter is, look, and I talked to him about this, so he is not it's. Vince is the man around there, and Hunter knows it. Everyone knows it. So it's not like there's any mistaking that.
Yeah. People like to think that it's a butting heads every week, whereas no.
Well, I mean, there's disagreements, I'm sure.
But
actually, I know there is, but that's just
a jockeying for power or a power struggle. No, Vince is in charge.
That's right. Yeah.
Vince is in charge until he decides to leave. Yeah. If he decides to leave.
So, all right.
All right. Well, any other? Maybe we should talk about the Undertaker cutting a promo on Goldberg, basically saying he's next and that he doesn't want the family version of Goldberg.
So why did it get cut off?
The segment?
Yeah.
Actually,
apparently, the whole thing didn't air on TV, and the rest of it, he. No, you guys don't know that.
Well, I watched it online, so I didn't have that issue.
Yeah, well, people apparently it didn't. The whole thing didn't show on Raw.
Okay, that's interesting.
Maybe they ran over. That's.
Come on, you guys.
They're cutting it off at the same time now. So, all right. Well, anyway, but it was interesting though, to say the least. I think.
Yeah.
And I did like the whole fact about like, hey, I don't want the family man version of Goldberg anymore.
What does that mean? Is there another version of Goldberg we
the version
we're longing for that we haven't seen in a while?
The version of Goldberg that worked with Brock Lesnar and Kevin Owens before him, who had his kids out, who had his son, and his whole family in the ring, and like a very cheerful, happy. Like Undertaker's trying to say, like, I want that ruthless spits-fire Goldberg.
Yeah. Sorry about the phone, everyone. It's a new phone, and little alerts going off in the background, and it's annoying the fuck out of me. But anyways.
All right, and then other moments that happened. I don't know if you want to talk about the Bray Wyatt's Muscle Man dance. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
During the. I don't know. I thought it was catchy.
Yeah. Was there a new character, like a new puppet or something?
I think there were two new puppets.
What was that?
One of them appeared to me to be a Vince McMahon head with horns. Right? Am I making that up? I'm not making that up.
I don't think I paid that much closely attention
I'm
to
pretty
the
sure
puppets.
it was a Vince McMahon head with horns. I thought that was... I clearly heard a Vince McMahon voice in that puppet. But they did the Muscle Man dance. I like... There was clearly someone who worked at Adult Swim, probably on Tim and Eric, that now works on these promos.
You think?
Oh, absolutely. Or they really
Adult
nailed that.
Swim, from Robot Chicken, or
Well, specifically like the Tim and Eric, like almost surreal comedy that they do. I think either someone's nailing that tone or they straight up hired one of those people.
yeah,
either
that's what they did. Isn't the guy that made those? Isn't he making a movie that? Oh fuck, who's in it? Isn't David Arquette in?
I think that
movie?
didn't they just announce that?
Yeah.
That David Arquette's in a movie. Yeah. I buy that.
All right, and then last but not least, you want to talk about
It's easy for you to
Lesnar?
say, Denise.
Lesnar laying out Seth Rollins.
Didn't they announce that he was going to cash into
They did.
Money in the Bank?
Paul
They
Heyman
didn't?
on Courthouse Steps said that the story they're trying to tell is that Paul Heyman keeps announcing Brock Lesnar will do it here at this time, and then Brock Lesnar turns up and does what he wants. So the story they're trying to tell is that Brock Lesnar, even at the behest of Paul Heyman, still does what Brock Lesnar wants. But at the end of the day, the Chiron still says this is going to happen, and then it doesn't happen.
Okay. All right.
They sent an email yesterday morning saying it would happen.
Then. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you right here next week. No, I was just fucking around, Jeff.
Hey, so was I.
Christ.
So was I, y'all.
I was like, what is happening here?
So one time I did that when Steve Austin was in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like fucking around. And Donica took the show home. And so no one oh my God. That wasn't the only thing that got fucked up with that show.
Whew, that show.
Yeah, the microphones were out of place and you could barely hear Steve in studio. Anyways. Oh my God. That didn't go too well after the fact. So, all right. Well, what else? Anything else?
No, that's pretty much a wrap.
Fuck, I just feel like I'm missing something here. Oh, I know I'm missing something. All right. Hey, anyways, I'm going to be in Orlando next week at the Performance Center, and so we'll be doing the show, but I'll be, I'll be calling it like, Skyping in from another studio or something, and may or may not have a guest from down there that will come on with me, and you guys will be here if you guys are here.
We'll be here.
Yeah. So, anyways, appreciate everyone tuning in, and we'll see you. Hey, let's just
Yeah,
do
okay,
the
so let's tell
fucking
people where to find
pleasantries.
the show. All right, so on Twitter, you guys can check us out at X-Pac12360 Show for clips, exclusives, etc. On IG and Facebook, X-Pac12360, YouTube.com/X-Pac. Plus, we're also on Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, you name it. We're everywhere. Just Google X-Pac12360, choose your favorite platform, and you guys can tune in and watch us. And also, if you guys want to check me out on YouTube, I'm youtube.com/Denise Salcedo, and I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at _Denise Salcedo.
And I'm Steve Kaufman, and I'm on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufman. That is KAUFMANN. I run 5 YouTube pages, including this one here, but also Ric Flair, Bruce Pritchard, Tony Schiavone, and Eric Bischoff, to name a few. So if I'm tweeting a link, chances are I'm involved.
All right. Can I say it now? All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, as always, and we'll see you right here next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Sean Waltman, producers Mark B. Donica, Jimbo Frank, and the entire X-Pac 12360 staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, rate and comment on iTunes and YouTube. Follow X-Pac on Twitter @TheRealXpac and email us at xpac12360show@gmail.com.